shift gears entirely and go for a scaling mid like the Victor, or to go for Ryze, for example, to be able to rotate around the map. Renekton first.
All right, Renekton going to be the choice here as Keen has his pick of the litter as far as what he wants to take into it. The Vayne did not get banned.
We have seen a lot of Renekton games actually be favored into the Vayne recently. I think a lot of Renektons are getting better at winning the early levels.
Doo-doo flashbacks.
Yeah, Doo-doo versus good old Zeus is definitely the big one, but I still think it's viable here. But they're looking for the Sion instead.
Oh, Sion Victor would be like the most Gen.G
It's the
thing
most Gen.G thing ever, yeah. Or Sion Ryze, I guess, is also. But Sion's not great with Ryze in terms of side lane pressure, so I would prefer the Victor.
Sion Anivia is another one. Blind Anivia sounds weird, though. It needs to be a blind pick of some kind, and we'll see what Chovy does want to go with. Could just be a Zir as well, if they'd like to just lock that one away. Plenty of things that Gen.G have in their wheelhouse to pick up here. Instead, it's going to be a Cassiopeia. I kind of like this. Denying some Vault Breakers, denying some of the slices and dices.
Also feels like it does... It kind of assume a Ryze pick here for Vikla, and makes it so that it's very difficult for him to make that choice. And he may just be piling the Victor himself here. It works really well with Ashe Seraphine because of the slows from the gravity field. You know what? These days, it's just like, nah, if I'm good at Akali, I'm just going to pick Akali in any situation. It doesn't matter. That's kind of the meta right now.
In the LCK Cup, he was able to get a solo kill against Chovy. Not in this matchup, but with Akali. So let's see whether Chovy is going to be able to find it here. I do feel like the Akali may have a difficult time. She does tend to like to dash around, and this is a pretty good one. As let's get onto the Rift for game number 1. See whether BNK can finally topple them. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 1. And already, Kellen taking a large chunk of his damage.
Yeah.
And looking to push this one out, though, as he is definitely a pretty aggressive player. Duro is looking a little worse for wear. Should be able to just drink a potion and be okay, though.
With the lethal tempo on Ashe at level 1, after the initial burst comes through from Ruler, you can win those trades. A heal will be used for the chase here.
Yeah, Ruler and Duro actually holding on to theirs, for now at least. As Kellen is going to miss some buttons. This might be a go button for Ruler and Duro to go in. Remember, they still have... Never mind, they used the heal earlier on to chase them down. As once again, Ruler is able to sidestep. But the problem is, there are a lot of other things that do damage. And Canyon is going to be starting on the enemy side of the Rift.
This is a pretty aggressive pathing here. We'll just get the Raptors to start and see what he can do. Is he going to cross back over, or rather he is going to cross back over the river here and would be able to potentially punish an aggressive play here from Kellen and Taeyun. I think Kellen and Taeyun very happy with how that initial exchange went, even though they had to use the barrier and they're down 1 summoner. They get level 2 first, which makes it very difficult for Ruler to trade here further before the wave is actually going to start pushing towards the turret. And now they can actually safely sit back. It's difficult once Ruler hits level 2 to really look for an all-in here, even with barrier advantage into the Seraphine. So just going to have to sit back here, it looks like, and maybe wait for a timing at level 3. But really well played on both sides of this bottom 2v2. Looked great for Taeyun and Kellen, but Ruler and Duro were able to push it back a little bit.
Yeah.
It's the first game of Lucian for Ruler this season, which is crazy because it's been so popular recently, but he has really just shied away from it.
And everyone else on Gen.G hasn't lost a game on these champions. The good old Sion has been a bit of a staple here as far as winning is concerned, especially for a team like Gen.G.
Keen has been the best Sion player, I think, by far as well.
Close to just the best, you know, top lane player. But you'd be exactly right. I think that this Sion certainly suits them. And it feels so Gen.G, you know?
Yeah.
Put a beefcake in the top lane, have someone with consistent damage in the mid lane, you know, have a marksman that shoots people.
It's been so
from there.
Quintessential Gen.G to have a really neutralizing top lane and then have like a Kalista bottom lane and then a Zir for Chovy that scales all the time. As Raptors gonna look for a gank here on Chovy.
Yeah, Miasma should be able to stop him from having a good time, and yeah, just walks around it. Beautifully played.
Yeah, another pick that's neutralized it. Yeah, exactly. And like, he's just like, nah, I'm not going to flash. I'm just going to casually stop you from finishing your Q.
The wander in a circle strategy, it's so powerful.
Well, pretty significant CS advantage in this early matchup. before the TPs come through. Dark Seal picked up here for Vikla. Trying to be gold efficient here.
Yeah. And wants to be investing for the future. As maybe they could wait for the miasma to be down some way before they do attempt to have another Vi gank. As Kellen not going to hit any buttons here towards Ruler, who is able to just dash on through. Feel fantastic about that one. Good old lob over is kind of mitigated there.
Yeah, really a quite volatile matchup right now here in this bottom side. If any jungle attention is not matched, could actually just open wide up. There is vision here in the river for this rotating canyon.
Yeah, Taeun actually taking a lot of damage. There's the beat drop, flash out from Taeun. And Canyon knew that he was on vision, but also knew that there was nothing they could do about it as Chovy finds another one as the Twin Fang. He wanted to flash for that so bad. But Vikla already had his, still had his, and so didn't want to have that one just be a trade.
Chovy definitely knows how to turn large advantages like that into consistent advantages rather than flipping for the flash all in there. Like to respect his decision, and we'll see what he could do with it further. As Raptor here was behind in farm, right, and Canyon was still able to make that gank happen. He's trying to catch up here as he finishes clearing his jungle, but will still be a little bit behind. But it was a huge gank from Canyon. You can see the bottom lane shifting so much as a result of it.
Yeah.
Taeun still staying here, but we'll say Ruler head right back down to the bottom lane.
And also, Ruler comes back with the core fields, and there's just a couple of long swords here for Taeun, so might mean, you know, some more worrisome things in the future here for BNK. It's not a massive item difference or anything like that, but can be problematic. As we do have Kellen making his way back to lane Duro as well. And it's Taeun without flash, Gen.G with every summoner back up and available once again. So potential all-in angle, as Taeun does at least hit level 5 before Ruler gets there. And they will be able to take back some control of the lane. In the neutral, it does feel like this Ashe Seraphine is just really, really good at standing their ground. But I feel like Gen.G have played around it very effectively in this bottom lane, giving them the respect that they deserve.
Absolutely, and they do have a lot of power here through this early lead they have generated in the mid lane to grab this first dragon. And Canyon's been playing a very good early game, just exactly where he needs to be, as Clear is going to look for a level 6 timing here.
Yep, Keen is just going to use him to get more grasp stacks. That's what it sort of looked like.
If he was able to bait Keen's ultimate out and then trade later against him, Keen doesn't have teleport, so it was annoying to get back to lane, but Keen just plays it well, plays it chill, does not commit the ult there, doesn't need to.
And Bramble Vest is done. Obviously not a whole lot of fun for the Renekton. But just the Scion getting towards that brick wall status and has evened up the farm completely. That 12 CS in the lead here for Clear as we have some more trades going on here. Level 6s being looked for both of these bottom lanes obviously can be very explosive for an Ashe Seraphine if they do manage to get there, especially if you get there earlier than the Milio.
Yeah, especially at this meta where there is no cleanse, and Milio, like you said, is very far away from 6 at this moment in time. The arrow can shut down a dashing Lucian, can block his call as well. When he does go forward, could just shut that down while he's trying to set up for the damage. Then you could look for the counter engage. Both of these players have barrier, but Ruler has flash advantage critically, which allows him to outplay an arrow, for example. Could he simply flash over it? Taeun hits level 6 first, though, so they will play defensively.
Yep, I really like the reaction from Gen.G. Just get the heck out of dodge and hope to pick up a level 6 for yourself. Ruler will be getting there much before Duro, as he did get that alone time previously. But not quite on this wave, just needs another couple of farm before that one does come on in. There is Scion making his way back towards the top lane.
This is exactly the time I was talking about. Had Clear forced his flash with the Dominus, he would not have been able to do this and would have either had to stay in the lane awkwardly or would have lost all of that farm. And Keen keeps it cool, ults back to the lane, and is totally fine. Raptor is seen on this ward. And it looks like we're not going to have a level 6 all-in just yet. Kellen's about to have his ultimate online. As he should know, based on the timing in the lane, that he actually has the advantage here. And Ruler and Duro need to play around this. So far, they have been. There it is.
Yep. Level 6 going to be collected here for Kellen, who just moves further up. There is the Encore already. They go for the Duro timing as the arrow is going to connect onto Ruler. Does have the Cozy Campfire there to stand under, but you can see looking worse for wear right now. Taeun taking some damage, Raptor looking to try and finish them off, and there are some low health bars as Gen.G looks to try and limp their way out. Oh, that is a fantastic fire kick as the sidestep does come in, but there is the barrier having to be used. Duro there with the shield as well, as Ruler is in a lot of trouble. The flash forward from Raptor, and he's able to keep himself alive as well with the help of Kel, and first blood over to BNK FearX as Canyon dealing with a crocodile here who's trying to kill his crab.
Vicla's over here. I think Canyon should be able to secure 2 of these at least. Can get the first one without smite, the second one, and frankly with Chovy coming over now should be able to get all 3. But it feels like a paltry prize in comparison to what was given over on the other side, as Ruler does end up going down there, and the bottom duo is a little bit split as Duro's moving around the map trying to make a larger impact. So Duro does not respect the level 6. I was like, they're kind of respecting it. He needed to flash the root there, because if he gets hit by that, then the charm is going to land on him, and he goes incredibly low, and Ruler wants to try to stay here and catch this wave, but once Raptor comes over, they know this is not going to be possible. But even still, really good side step there from Raptor, and he gets the follow-up here, waits for the barrier to go down before he applies that damage, then goes in for the flash kill. As it looks like in the top lane, Clear should escape the gank.
Yeah, he's able to get himself out of there. It's rather looking pretty impressed, or rather impressed, if you will. So BNK off to a great start here. They're going to need more than this. Maybe losing a cannon for Keen could help BNK FearX out. You can see a little bit of a 100 gold tick up is what it looked like to me as that did go to the wayside.
It's 2 plates in the bottom lane that were picked up. The CS advantage isn't really there, but the assist gold on top of it feels really nice here for Taeyun at this point in time. So we'll see what happens in these next few moments here as Canyon's grubs aren't going to feel that great for a Scion, but a Cassiopeia with some extra time hitting a turret in sides will really enjoy them. Yep. They got the first dragon. Now, if they can turn this into double dragon here, I feel like the lead isn't that great here for BNK, but if BNK bring us to 1-1, I think their mid game is looking pretty stable at the moment. Now, the big question is, will Vikla get set up? Because as we talked about, so much CC to set him up, but he hasn't been able to join a scrap just yet in this game.
Right now, Keen actually teleporting towards his bottom lane, went back, got his Thornmail. That is now done. And Kellen and Taeyun are now wondering, what are they supposed to do? There's now a brick wall in the bottom lane that is very difficult to fight through.
It's really common when you get close to finishing your role quest, if you're losing lane, to just go topside and try to get money in this meta. It's the new delayed lane swap. Because it's really difficult to punish, and you will still get your role quest completed later, and you're already struggling. And if you stay bottom lane, sometimes you just get chain dove repeatedly. And if the enemy jungler loses prior, they can't help you out. And so it's better to just swap like this when you have a tank top lane. BNK will get the second dragon I was talking about. Vikla looks for an all-in.
Yeah, looking for a bit of an angle here, but Chovy, Petrifying Gaze comes down. There is a fair bit of poisoning on to Vikla, who uses the perfect execution just to escape. Yeah, that was not really solid kill territory here, as now Canyon looking for an angle. There is a Vi moving on over, but I don't think the Raptor's going to be able to do too much about this, as the arrow is going to sail on through. Canyon doing a lot of work there with a bit of a QE just to get the poke damage in.
Clear is doing a good job of keeping Ruler off these plates, and I don't think we can say as much about Keen here on the bottom side. Obviously, as a Scion, we may see a dive throw from Canyon here. Clear does have ult and flash, and this wave is not here yet. He also has TP. He's not going to actually complete this back, though. I just don't think Ruler is getting the pressure he really wanted on this top side here, but he is farming freely, so that's a step in the right direction. The lead is getting larger, though, here for Taeyun at the moment.
Yeah, Kellen with the Arthur Fist as a response there to having his back stopped. A little bit frustrating, as Canyon going to be able to steal away a blue buff. And might even be able to get this Gromp as well, as Raptor is in the vicinity. But Canyon's pretty strong at this point. They do have item parity. Now, Chovy and Taeyun are going to be fighting here in this mid lane. Chovy not exactly happy about the range disadvantage that he's in right now, but is otherwise just going to be able to pick up the waves.
A lot of the lead that's coming through here for Taeyun now, like some of it was picked up early, but he's been able to maintain this lead because of his role quest being complete and the extra farm he's going to pick up as a result of it. See, every time he gets one of these minions, it's a little bit of extra gold going into his favor that Ruler isn't getting while farming on the top side there, because his quest is so late. That's why this setup is the way it is right now, with Chovy still stuck in the mid lane, because Ruler wants to finish his quest, then go mid and get that extra farm. So they're trying to give Chovy the money, because Ruler isn't going to get the maximum value out of it until his role quest completes. So the lane setup, really weird here. Luckily for them, they have a Scion. That's very difficult to dive here. Otherwise, the situation could have gotten very awkward for Gen.G very quickly. It's still not great, you know, it's still not ideal.
Yeah.
And this is even, well, he's not going to commit to the overgrowth, but could have been an extra plate going over to Taeyun.
Ruler is actually just going to have to go back to this mid lane here to try and pick this one up. Getting so close to completing that quest, but it is so hard without being in that bottom side. Obviously, with the changes, did sort of help out if you're not going to quite be in that bottom lane, but I think that the extra boost that you do get has now worn off, as now Ruler is in a lot of trouble. Hit by almost the kitchen sink as he flashes away just in the nick of time with the help of Duro. My goodness, that was a trust fall, and Duro is able to catch him.
They do have to commit 2 flashes, though, and I think that's well worth it here for BNK. They were setting up for this for so long. Now looking for a gank going to Kellen.
Yeah, now Ruler is going well and truly all in. Gets himself the shield from the barrier, though, to try and keep himself alive. Canyon not wanting to stand in front of everyone. As BNK, you will be able to chase them out, but man, that was very, very close to getting even more. And now, even more summoner spells are on cooldown. Canyon holds on to the flash, though, so that is a positive.
BNK, really aggressive gameplay here as we move into the mid game. And, you know, Ruler does get bailed out by Duro there, but 4 summoners down now after that final exchange. And they were certainly setting up for a really big angle. Instead of going for the crystalline overgrowth, they were camping in the bush, then waited for the second fall up there with Raptor. And Ruler now down flash is very vulnerable. The Ash Arrow is on such a low cooldown, and obviously basically everything in the game is on a lower cooldown than flash, so Ruler needs to be very careful as he's trying to farm it up. Gold lead has shrunk slightly here for him as he's finally now in this mid lane, but very scary situation here. This very scary game state in general for Gen.G, because this could explode with just one team fight. Like right now, Vicla's the only one that doesn't have a gold lead, but he's ready to fight in this mid game. Does have his Gunblade online versus the Rod here for Chovy. And if he gets 2 kills in a scrap around one of these upcoming objectives, you know, the Infernal Soul, first Dragon here is spawning in 50, and Herald is up, then suddenly BNK's lead can like triple in that moment.
Could be very, very scary. I think that Gen.G might be wanting to set up around this next Dragon fight, and maybe that's where BNK can really find an angle, as Chovy trying to deal with Vikla here. Sidestep on the Noxious Blast is good. Perfect execution range is what Chovy was playing around there, and does do so quite nicely. So once again, the ulti's on cooldown.
Should be taken in response here. Chovy's going to need a little bit more resources. They're going to commit the TP for Keen. They want to contest this.
Yeah, and he's got ulti, so I don't know whether BNK can really do too much about this. Clear can teleport in if he would like. But look at this. This is what Keen does, by the way, in the mid-game. He just stands in front of people. And there's Cease and Desist trying to get into the backline. The arrow is going to fly in as well, but Raptor is just dead because Keen stops anyone from doing anything. Clear is going to be able to make his way forward as Kellen is in the Cataclysm, and the culling is going to eat him up. Now Canyon in a little bit of trouble as there's a big Renekton after him. He will be able to take down the Jarvan, but now Ruler is free hitting. The flash in from Clear does nothing at all, and now Vikla and Taeyun are looking to try and escape the wrath of Keen. And on the Miasma, nowhere for this Ash to go, and didn't have flash anyway, so he wasn't escaping.
Say
and
goodbye.
Down Taeyun.
Say goodbye to your lead, BNK. You had such a strong position this game. There were several moments where they could have decided to back away. This is the first one. Clear could have gotten the whole bottom turret. First brick, by the way, for Herald in exchange. That's worth when you have a lead like this, okay? But they commit the TP, they want to fight. They go in here looking for the pick, doesn't work out. You end up losing the first member, right? The Vi goes down, could leave here. Could leave here and say, all right, well, that's unlucky, we use TP. They commit further, they're able to get Canyon here, but Kellen dies. Okay, but you could leave here after you kill Canyon. Right? But Clear, it gets kind of locked down here, decides to flash in to look for a Q for the heal so that the carries can follow up. Was never going to happen. He doesn't get his Q off, he dies, and they end up losing Taeyun in the end. This was a, I don't know, I guess overconfident play would be the easiest way to summarize it, but I think it goes layers deep than that, because now Chovy is 1,200 gold ahead, Ruler is ahead, Taeyun's out of the commanding position he was in, and this Renekton having a lead over a Scion means less than nothing in this game now.
I would say that Keen is also probably one of the most dangerous members on the Rift right now, as the arrow is going to sail down and... Oh no, it hit the deer! Oh, goodness gracious me. Thankfully, it was flying a little bit further above, and it was more like...
It'll be around for a beautiful translation later.
Yeah, the stag... Well, I think it was more of a stag.
Oh, okay.
So the stag still standing, antlers intact, everything's fine. But man, that was almost a Cole Peter moment. Also the name of my mum, funnily enough. Okay, Raptor is just going to take a flag to the head. And Keen, like I was saying, the most dangerous member on the team. Just hitting this turret with a big old metal axe.
It's crazy how you can play so methodically and build a lead up.
That's not an axe, that's a hammer. So.
Yeah. Whatever. You could build a lead so methodically, right? Play it through this Ashe lane, push Ruler into such an uncomfortable spot, make him farm in top lane, have all the cards. Your Akali has first item stronger than the Cassiopeia, and just against a team like Gen.G, think, we got this, and force the fight with all of the, all of the step there, the Scion in the way. This is exactly how Gen.G play. Like, we all know it. You called it out. But, I mean, even if you didn't say it, I think everyone's quite aware. It is our job to say it, though. But for BNK, I think they didn't quite get the memo on that one. And it's frustrating to watch because you're like, wow, we might have an upset on our hands. Like, they're doing all the things. They're exactly where they need to be in this game. And now they're exactly where they are, well, basically cannot win the game with, is really what I'm trying to say.
Not in a great spot. Ruler also decided to skip the quick blades and just went for an Infinity Edge. So it's a decent item spike that he's hit right now. Probably wants a little more attack speed. Quick blades are pretty good for just skating around the rift, but sometimes you just want gigantic boom boom.
And when you have a Scion, it makes sense.
Yeah.
They can't get to you. You just eventually do all the boom boom.
Well, it's not over yet, ladies and gentlemen. It's 1,000 gold the lead for Gen.G. That swing was about 2K, but it's not, it's not done and dusted. The problem that I have is with what we've seen from BNK when they start to fall behind. And generally, they continue to cascade or careen down the hill.
Well, if you make a decision like that from ahead, who knows what decision you'll make from behind, right? As do have the Herald that they did not secure in the attempt there, actually now coming through to take away this mid turret.
Yeah, that will be used to try and save this one up as well, as Ruler wanting to get that damage down. Arrow going to connect onto the Lucian, but no Melio ult necessary to save him from that. As Canyon going to get a nice little knock up here onto Raptor.
This is not a favorable engaged position, BNK.
Yeah, I would let this one go.
They did not have the Seraphine in close enough range to follow up. Like, she would have been able to line up the shot, but there's so much space. It would have taken so long. Ruler would have been able to dash away or sidestep. He has flash as well. So even though the arrow connects, it was a good choice not to try to send it there, but it looked like they were like, all right, after this, though, we'll stop them from getting the... No, they got it. Let them have it. They did make the choice eventually, even though the posture was like they were going to try to fight. Keen was well and truly already on his way down to make sure that didn't happen. And this is the Gen.G boring comp that gets to the boring part where it does all the things and they don't make mistakes. And this is where it gets really tricky to get your way back in the game as BNK. I think picks like Akali can certainly give you some agency, same with the Vi, right? Like, there is a lot of pick here. I mean, if someone makes a mistake, there is a way in, or if you can maybe group, find a pocket of vision. That's an angle where suddenly, you Vi Q over the wall onto Ruler behind the turret and everybody follows up. Maybe that's the way like they're trying to sort of set up for here, but there is that control ward there, which does shut down their plans.
The thing that's a real problem for me is that Keen has teleport. And as soon as Keen has teleport, I don't think you can ever really start a fight against Gen.G unless you can blow someone up and get out immediately. Because as soon as Keen arrives, I just feel like it's impossible for BNK to even play around this. Until Taeun gets, at least a Lord Doms or something to cut down some of the armor, it's going to be really problematic. As now the train comes on in, does crash this time around as he looks for Taeun. Doesn't quite get there. The beat is going to drop. And Gen.G, bit of a failed engage as we have 20 seconds left on this Drake. And the Renekton is getting some work done in that top lane.
And Clear gets something out of this. But it does kind of feel like BNK are awkwardly trying to figure out how to navigate these skirmishes, and that's not a great sign because you have to be incredibly laser-focused and precise if you are going to get that blow-up target, like you were saying. As they kind of arrowed somewhat randomly there, it felt like after the initial salvo, Vikla's not in a good spot.
Yeah, he's going to get fire kicked almost out of his shroud as he looks to backflip away. Not quite going to work here as the Drake is going to get started. The Renekton is still in the top lane though, and might even be able to get this entire turret. So far, not a great trade here for Gen.G. And Clear, he took notes on what happened when they messed up that first engage and said, you know what, I'm hard committing.
Yeah, he's just going to go all the way in to that top turret. Keen will respawn here now. but the turret is dead.
Yeah.
Chovy's turret that he was trying to take was, at least for a little while, defended, but now that Canyon comes down, I think he will get it with this next wave. So it's an inner, though, plus outer for just an outer. So definitely a trade up for BNK still.
They do get soul point, so a little bit, you could put that in the cons column for BNK, but when you are falling behind like they were, I think going for the cross map to make a bit more money makes a lot of sense.
I just wonder how much this Renekton alone can get done with him being the solo gold lead. And we have seen Clear has had some amazing Renekton games, one of his best picks. We talk about it often, but Mikhail's is done. You know, it is Emilio. You just needed to be further ahead, I think, for the Renekton to have a lead like this, and you go, well, okay, yeah, like, he's a big threat. In this game, he's just going to try to flank, or maybe he's just going to keep hitting the turrets. Because I think you need the Akali to get more money, right? I think we need to see the Ashe get that item, the third item, to cut through this Scion. Otherwise, he just will always be so difficult. Even Chovy's going to be difficult to kill in this game.
Yeah, Chovy does have the first couple of, tanky / AP items, and everything is all stacked up as well. So the Cassiopeia in fighting form for the moment. As Ruler is going to throw down the culling. Kellen taking a fair bit of damage here. But not too much more going to come of it. Looks like Leandres is coming in next here for Chovy as well. Some extra burning going on, as he already has the Deathfire touch, now chasing down Vikla, as we can see.
Vikla 2 levels down because of the Rod's completion here, so it does not look like a threat at all in this game. Especially because Chovy has the tier 3 crushers. Like, he is just not going to take magic damage.
No.
And he has Seraph Shield, so good luck engaging with him, or interacting with him, or engaging on him.
It's just going to be a really difficult time, as Chovy is just going to teleport towards the bottom lane, looking to try and lock down Clear here. The train going to come on through, and that is a bit of extra damage towards Clear. Chovy just sprints over, though, and Noxious Blast needs to be avoided. There's the Petrifying Gaze, doesn't get stunned up, and now Raptor's going to make his way in. The arrow is going to come through and interrupt a Q that was never going to land, as Clear is still trying to keep himself alive, but it's not going to work. Down goes the Crocodile, and Raptor's like, well, I mean, we tried.
I want to point out to everyone that Clear still has a 1,300 gold lead and a 40 CS advantage, and Keen has a 300 gold bounty.
Huh.
I just like to point these bounties out sometimes because they're very funny. I mean, their team is really...
They have already claimed Clear's bounty. That's, I think, probably what's happened.
At this point, that fight was optimistic. You got to find what you can, right? Like, Keen is not killable, so they changed targets there. But it's unfortunately just such a lead here. And Chovy can say no to anything.
Yeah.
Which is basically what happened.
And his Leandres is now completed as well. Ruler is getting closer and closer to item number 3. And yeah, it feels like a slow suffocation of BNK FearX. As only 7 kills so far here at 26.5 minutes. And Gen.G probably just going to look to try and choke them out of vision and grab a pick, grab a Baron, win the game. 1.5 minutes on the Infernal Soul as well, as Vikla with some fancy footwork to try and escape here. But Canyon, he's going to move on over, and the escape is on, as Vikla might be able to get out of this, but it's just not really going to be enough. Keen's the one that locks down the kill, and that could be the sign to go towards Baron.
Yep, and I think that with this TP here from Keen, not only can they get the Baron, they can keep this turret alive. There is very little cross-map. I mean, Clear could try to push the inner turret in the bottom lane, but what does that really mean? They're going to try to kill Keen instead. Good luck.
Yep, all right. Let's go with some achievable goals, shall we, BNK FearX? Because that ain't it. Arrow is going to sail on in, but just goes past the Baron, and now Raptor is very, very dead. Ruler gets on over the wall as Clear with the teleport in, kind of regrets it, but does have the big old shield to keep himself alive.
What is with the impossible contest attempts?
Yeah.
This one they were like, we have a Renekton in the bottom lane, maybe we can get a turret. Just like last time, they're like, nah. Send him in after the Baron is taken, and also try to kill Keen first instead of going to the Baron itself. It was very bizarre, the whole situation. Tame does not have that third item yet, so he cannot hurt the Scion, actually.
No, I don't think very many people can. He does now put his Jack shows together, and yeah, he's still 30 CS behind. Congrats, Clear. I just don't know whether that's relevant at all, as Canyon just going to come on over and steal away the red buff. Obviously, Taeyeon and Kellen do not have the ability to secure that, but I don't even think Canyon needed his smite. As now Chovy looking for an angle here. Noxious Blast going to connect. Fire kick is going to try and push him away, but another one is going to land. These Twin Fangs doing so much work. The Cataclysm will come down, and that allows Chovy to grab that kill. Now with their Baron, they're able to rip through this turret, as Keen is just a demolition man on this Scion. 8 seconds until he has the ulti up, and we've seen this play before. 3 seconds. As he has flash, he's going to use it to get himself out of here. Does have the good old shield, and Dura comes on over to make sure that he doesn't even have to ult, ladies and gentlemen.
When I asked if he could kill him, I was kidding, of course.
Yeah. Oh dear, that's just not very,
he
not
took
very
like
fair, is it?
4 turret shots, I think, as well.
Yeah.
On the inner.
Well, Canyon looking for a fight instead of anything else. Keen is still like meandering back down here, doesn't have teleport. As Raptor, not sure about that play, as Ruler is going to be able to get on top of him. Cease and assist is more of a question rather than an ability in that situation, as there's Ruler dashing forward. Not sure about that one, but actually he is. Tain looking for the angle here, as he will be able to take down Duro before inevitably dying. And Clear, he just respawned.
Surely he won't try to contest this Infernal Soul.
Surely he has that level of bravery.
He does like to come to the objectives that are extremely defendable so far this game. I think this game can be summed up by the Herald fight that happened early on, and this gold grab can be summed up by the Herald fight that happened early on.
Yeah.
And you have to have a lead against this Gen.G comp. You have to. They did. They tossed it. And they were scared the Herald would deny their lead, right? So they wanted to force that fight.
The rapid fire hit from Ruler just did so much damage.
And then he just doesn't care. He has so much support here.
Yeah, Dura just presses every button on him.
Taeyoon does get the 1 kill there on the Milio. But everything that's happened since that Herald fight has just been the compounding lead here of Gen.G. Like, they got the Lucian ahead. Chovy was always ahead. You know, the follow-up we had for the Scion, where he was the only one behind, is like, well, he's like, yeah, I'm playing into Renekton, and the Ashe doesn't hurt me, so it doesn't matter that I'm behind. And they just kind of kept pushing lanes on the map and showing up to objectives, and BNK couldn't get back in. Because it's Gen.G. They don't make mistakes.
Yeah, this is the problem. And this is why it feels so bad when you lose a fight like that. Gen.G will just never let you back in. And it just feels so frustrating. It's now, yeah.
Trying to kill Scion again.
He only went 1 stop there as well. Like, he barely even traveled. Just gets himself out of the way. That is going to mitigate any sort of cross-play there away from Gen.G. As Canyon looks to try and turn that arrow into an engage. Culling is going to get interrupted by Raptor, as now Ruler trying to keep himself alive. Clear gets on top of him, but Ruler has so much support. It is going to be Vikla that shuts him down in the end, but Canyon turns up. It's a triple for Chovy. This guy's Cassiopeia was left alone and will now just sap all of the health bars of BNK FearX as he collects himself the quadra kill. And Raptor is going to try and deny the Penta, but he will not be able to deny the game.
No. And I don't think Chovy will be able to take him out here, but ultimately the game is over, and that's the most important thing.
Oh, wait a second.
He's teasing it. He's teasing it.
In he goes. And there's another ult from Keen. I'm amazed that he managed to have that one back. A pentakill! Wow, it was so delayed. But Chovy is going to pick it up. That's back-to-back pentakills. Yes. Thanks, Gillette. Really managing to get on the screen here over the last couple of days, as BNK FearX will crumble to the might of Gen.G.